As I was watching Ezra Klein speak with Ta-Nehisi Coates, my mind kept going back to 2015 and the Making the Murderer documentary. As I watched as white people around the country became mortified to watch episode after episode the justice system in this small rural white town use all of its power, privilege, and resource to basically, in their conception, crush this man's whole existence through corruption, through abuse of power, so on and so forth. And I remember my black friends and colleagues being like, yeah, bro, this is a regular Tuesday for us. Like, we're the most exonerated people in this country because we're the most wrongfully accused people in this country. And I think that divide sums up the divide I witnessed between Ezra Klein and Ta-Nehisi Coates in that interview. White people and black people have lived such fundamentally different lives, sociologically speaking, that it's hard for an intelligent person like Ezra Klein to see through the white privilege in order to recognize that the things he's afraid of happening have been common features of black life from the very beginning. So, for example, when he expresses a fear of the rise of white nationalism, right, and the ever-narrowing definition of who deserves to be a citizen and who deserves rights, that's a common feature under which black people have been living from the very beginning. When he expresses his fear about losing his life for speaking political truth on a public platform, that has been a common feature of black life from the very beginning. When he expresses his fear about living under a president who views him as a second-class citizen because of his political affiliation, and the fear he has about living under a president who is now not going to care about him or people like him's interests in this country, that is a common feature of black life from the very beginning. There has never, and I mean never, been a president of the United States that could consider black interests to the same extent that they consider white interests. And I don't care what president you look at. It could be Barack Obama, it could be FDR, it could be Teddy Roosevelt, doesn't matter. You can use Flint, Michigan as an example for Barack Obama, although there are so many others. You can use redlining for FDR, although there's so many others. You could use the example that Teddy Roosevelt set with Booker T. Washington at the White House and never inviting another black person to the White House again after the backlash that he faced. Doesn't matter what examples you use. There has never been a president that has been able to consider the interests of black America in the way that it considers the interests of white America. So in many ways, Ezra Klein tells on himself again and again and again every time he talks about a fear that he is facing under this rising authoritarianism. Because the fact of the matter is that black Americans have been living under an authoritarian regime from the beginning, and that authoritarian regime is called whiteness. Thank you for coming to my motherfucking TED Talk.
What do you guys think about what that man said? What do you guys think about how he broke everything down? I think he nailed it on the head, and I listened through every single word that he said in that commentary. And yes, I feel like he gets it. And I hope that his people will be able to see that. There's one creator on TikTok who talk about how she hopes that single black person meets someone like Ezra Klein, because that is the only time that they can understand the frustration. You watch the full interview, you can notice that Ezra wasn't interacting with Coach on a human level. He was analyzing him, he was dissecting him, he was literally dissecting his idea like they were in a classroom debate. But in all of this is one of them's reality. Like, he was telling the truth. He did not see a responsibility to be on the truth side. Ta-Nehisi Coach was talking about his reality. He was talking about their survival. He was talking about their pain and the moral weight that comes with just being black in America. And then he said that black people bring slavery into everything. Absolutely diabolical. And it was at that junction that they should have ended the interview, because that right there was where the disconnect was located. That creator's video is giving a clear difference between being informed and being aware. And that is the reason why I'm sharing with you guys. And I really want to hear what you guys think about his take. Because being informed means that you have read books. Being aware means that you can feel the humanity in the story. And if you watch the interview between Ezra Klein and Ta-Nehisi Coach, you can tell that someone cannot feel the humanity in what the other one was saying. The dismissal, the disconnect, the comfort that shields people from the truth. Because let's be honest, black people do not even need these type of people or people like Ezra to even speak for them. They just need them to be aware of it, because them not being aware of it is like the genesis of this problem. And their constant dismissal when conversations like this are brought up, the way he shrugged it off, because it's just a reality that he has never lived in and he might probably never live in his life. So let me hear what you guys think about this man's video in the comment section. Let me hear what you think about the way he analyzed everything, and I am going to see you guys in the next one.